an asset and not a liability to the man and woman of God. And as an armor bearer, I want to say this, because we have to understand that when we're serving, if you're an armor bearer, you should be a committed son or daughter to that ministry, to that man and woman of God, to the vision of that house. You should be a committed son or daughter. And so what does that mean? Because a lot of people are like, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I don't need to do this, I don't need to do that. And when you look at serving and you walking and you are representing that man or woman of God, and you're going before them. In everything they do, you should be first partaker. As an armor bearer, in everything they do, you should be first partaker. If there's an event they having, you should already be there. You should already be there, making sure things are good, making sure that there's nothing that's going to come against him or the ministry for that day. If he's doing a campaign to raise money for something, you should be the first one to sow.
Yes.
If he's doing some event and he's going to have people and there's a registration, you should be one of the first people to register. That shows your level of commitment, your loyalty. Yes. Not my faithfulness for showing up, but I'm faithful because I'm going to be there. But I'm loyal because I'm going to stay there.
Yes.
So it requires a lot. It's not. A lot of people see they see it from the outside.
Yes.
And say like, oh, they carrying the man of God about, they walking with the man or woman of God. But there's a lot of things there's a lot of times that you have privilege to a lot of things that other people don't have access to. You got to be in a place spiritually where your man and woman of God can be vulnerable around you.
Yes.
Because when they come from ministering, their spirit is open.
Yes.
You got to be able to cover them in prayer.
That's so good.
You got to be able to cover them in prayer. And I remember Apostle was telling me, when a pastor preaches, and this has been proven, like just their 30 minutes time of ministering is equivalent to someone else's 8-hour a day work job.
That's right.
So you think about all of that, compact into one. And then here you are as an armor bearer coming in, want to tell him like, hey, so let me tell you about work today. And no. Man of God, I'm covering you in prayer. We're speaking over your life, speaking over your body. We're speaking over the muscles, everything, and just pleading the blood over their life. So it's a lot that goes into it.
Yes.
It's a lot that goes into it.
And then we was talking, earlier this week regarding it's impossible to be a good armor bearer to your man and woman of God if you're jealous of them.
Yeah, I don't know how you can be jealous of the person you're serving. Because what happens is in the Bible, there's a character called Gehazi.
Talk about that.
Gehazi, he actually served Elijah. He served Elijah. But when you're jealous of what someone else has, you would start to use what they have and try to make it yours.
Wow.
Because you're trying so hard to be like them. I'm not saying you should desire to follow and go after your man and woman of God, but not to the point where I'm trying to dress like them. I'm trying to do this like I'm. No, I'm just trying to be consistent.
That's good.
Like he is.
Yes.
I'm just trying to be consistent. I'm not trying to look like him. I'm not trying to speak like him, because God's going to use me to do everything he needs me to do, but in the vision and within the confines of the relationship I have with my man and woman of God.
Yes.
So, Gehazi, he used his leader, Elijah, he used his name, he used his power, he used his influence just to get 2 pieces of silver. I mean, come on, dude. You give up your inheritance for a 2-piece? For a 2-piece, dude? Like, come on. And I always look at that story because I'm like, man, when you're connected, armor bearers, when you're connected to an influential man or woman of God, it's so easy to get caught up in using their name to get through doors, to get through stuff, to gain access. And that shouldn't be our motive.
Wow.
That shouldn't be our motive, to never do that.
Yes. Wow. I absolutely love, just intelligence that you're giving us today. And, especially when you talked about how it's all about your motive.
Yeah.
What is your motive?
Yeah, you can't have an ulterior motive. You got to serve with a level of humility where I'm not trying to come in and take over anything. I don't have a hidden agenda. You cannot have a hidden agenda. Apostle had me read this book called The Spirit of an Armor Bearer.
Yes.
And in that book, it says something. And I read this book, 12 years ago? It was so profound. It said, as an armor bearer, you got to understand that your vision is locked up in the vision of the person you're serving.
Ooh,
so if you're jealous of the one you're serving, you don't even like your own vision,
right?
How can you do that? So we have to be able to understand that, man, everything that I have desired, and it's so true. Everything that I have desired, everything that I wanted to be in life.
Yes.
I see it in the vision that Apostle Jennings has laid out. I see it in his walk. I see it in everything that he do. I mean, hey, I went his shirt. I'm mentored.
Come on.
You know, I mean, I'm a mentee of Apostle Travis Jennings. I'm mentor. So I don't take it lightly. You know, that assignment is very important, and it's very important to the house of to the kingdom. It's important to the kingdom, because we got to understand that we are kingdom citizens. We're not church people. You know, kingdom citizens. So you got to act like a kingdom citizen.
Yes.
You act like you're a servant into the kingdom. So, and that's what I do.
Yes.
I serve as, and a lot of people get it mixed up though. And I think as I'm aware, sometimes you get your judgment get clouded, and you start serving to please the man of God.
Come on.
And you start doing things to please them. And that's not ministry. That's manipulation. When you start doing things just to please the man of God, that's manipulation, because you're trying to get his yes.
That was good.
When you really, this is your assignment. God has given you to serve that man of God and to serve God through him. So everything that we do is unto God and not unto the man. And a lot of people, you end up getting hurt because of that. I remember being, we was at this event, and this one guy said that, you know, he was serving as an armor bearer, and he was like, man, I was just that dude flunky. And I was like, why would you say that, man? Why would you say that? But when you look back, when he started explaining things to me, he was like, man, he never poured into me. He never did this. He never did that. You know. And I was like, well, what did you do? Did you cover him? Did you pray for him? Did you go after God for him? Did you cover his family? Were you in place? And a lot of things that he was just slacking on, because his assignment, he had got jaded in his assignment. His vision was jaded. You know, he started looking at it through a different lens. Like, well, He said hi to him, but he didn't say hi to me. Well, you know, we got the you got to dispel. You got to get all that. Remove self.
Come on.
We got to remove our personal self.
Yes.
Because the man or woman of God walk in and they may not speak to you, that don't get. It's nothing personal. It's all spiritual. God has given them a download for something they need to deliver that day, and it don't need to. It cannot be distracted or hindered or tainted by anything because you feeling sorry that he didn't speak to you. Come on, man. It's deeper than that.
And
it's
you know,
deeper than that.
That's so good, because of the fact that, you know, like you say, it's different days, different temperaments, different things going on. Like you said, they have to deliver the word.
Yes, you have to deliver the word.
We have to die to ourselves.
Got to die to ourselves.
Yes, Elder Juan, OMG, how can the people connect with you?
Oh, you know, I'm on Facebook, Juan Johnson on Facebook. They can connect with me there. Yes. You know, you can always find me serving at the Harvest Tabernacle Church. Yes. You can always find me serving there.
Yes, wow. OMG, you guys, this has been absolutely amazing. Elder Juan, will you come back?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's been exciting. I love it. It was awesome, you know.
Yes,
awesome.
Yes. Wow, you guys. Well, listen. Next week, we have something absolutely amazing prepared for you. So you guys remember, that's next week, same time, same place, right here on The Conversation with Maria Byrd.
Touchdown, finally found me someone I can really trust now. I always had so much to say, but no one to say it to.
Thank you for tuning in to The Conversation with Maria Byrd every Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on WIGO 1570 AM radio.
So let's have this conversation like a radio station.
WIGO AM 15.
Well, you guys, again, I want to take the time to thank my very special guest, Elder Juan Johnson. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
It's been an honor. It's been fun.
You guys, make sure you tune into the next edition of The Conversation with Maria Byrd.